What the vice president says she will do in her first 100 days if elected.
And I'm voting for a perfect weekend, but we have a little bit of unsettled weekend weather that we're expecting with tropical-like humidity. Yeah, all that's coming back in style, but we'll have a pretty nifty forecast despite all that.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Brandon Ferguson. Welcome to our News at 11. We begin tonight with tragic news out of Seaford. A 3-year-old on a bike was in a deadly accident. The crash happened on August 15th in the Mobile Gardens community. According to Delaware State Police, a Toyota Tacoma was turning onto North Parkway Road when it struck the child. The 3-year-old was rushed to the hospital by family, but sadly did not survive. If you have any information, Delaware State Police urges you to reach out to Troop 7. New tonight in Rehoboth Beach, a lawsuit has been filed against the city itself and new city manager Taylor Tedder. The plaintiffs are challenging the employment agreement with city manager Taylor Tedder, claiming it violates Delaware's Freedom of Information Act. The agreement includes a $250,000 salary and a $750,000 forgivable housing loan. The plaintiffs argue the hiring process was secretive and the Tedder does not meet the required qualifications. They're seeking to void the agreement and stop any payments under it. The Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over campaign is back in effect in Delaware. It begins today and will last through September 2nd. During this time, police officers will be patrolling statewide to remove impaired drivers off Delaware roadways. Standardized test results are back for Delaware schools, and the results are not exactly what parents and teachers were hoping for. The assessment report shows that Delaware students grades 3 through 8 have improved slightly in math, but not at all in English. And Delaware high school students have gotten better at reading, but worse at math and essay writing. The State Department of Education says this report highlights students' continued need for help to recover from the pandemic. But some parents we spoke with say the rough report card is due to overcrowding in schools and a lack of discipline.
They are still seeing the trauma and adversity that still kind of lingers even before COVID, but that's lingering from COVID. You know, our system is not ready to stop and to deal with those realities. It's difficult. We know we still have a palpable shortage of educators.
We're now taking a live look into Milford, a calm night out, and our First Alert Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams joins us now with a look at the weather. And your first time in the studio tonight, Paul. Good evening.
Yeah, I rested because they kicked me out of the studio earlier today to go out and do a whole bunch of stuff with the Historical Society of Lewis, but it was a whole lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed that at 6. Now, we're going to expect a little bit of fun for us tonight. Now, we're looking at our Irish Eyes camera, 74 degrees, with the winds pushing primarily out of the southeast at about 3 miles per hour. A few scattered clouds here and there, nothing to fuss about. Don't start panicking just yet. Wait till Sunday for that, okay? I'll get to that in a moment. First of all, we had a high of 90 degrees, not only in Georgetown, but also 90 for the high in Easton, 86 for us in Cambridge, 88 for the high in Salisbury, and 85 in Ocean City. What's happening right now? We're riding the 70s just perfectly, low 70s, and it's almost going to feel like a fall cool. Now, that's my spoiler alert. Now, coming up, we're going to be talking about why Ernesto is causing us concern down the road, even though he's way out there deep in the ocean. But as we switch gears here, keep in mind, we have a pretty good-looking forecast coming up anyway. Till then, back to you, Brandon.
President Biden sent a warning message and a ceasefire as hostage discussions are underway in the Middle East. In the Oval Office, Biden told reporters a deal between Israel and Hamas is closer than it's ever been. A negotiating team is promoting a comprehensive proposal that they say has the strong support of neighboring nations, Qatar and Egypt. The president also said he is sending the Secretary of State to Israel this weekend to affirm the U.S. commitment to Israel's security. Tomorrow is the last day to register to vote in Delaware primaries, and that will have a lot to do with who wins the state elections in November. Delaware is a two-party state, so only those who are Democrats or Republicans would be able to vote in this primary. CoastTV News reporter Anna Sophia Romain tells us what you need to know if you haven't registered yet.
Charito Calvachi Mateico is a president of Votamos We Vote coalition and says how vital it is for our voices to be heard in this next election.
It's important because if we don't do it, then other people are going to decide the destiny of immigration, the destiny of all the other services that we need to be provided, like health care, like fair housing, like a salary that dignifies our lives. So all these are at stake.
If you want to vote, you must be at least 18 years old on or before the day of the election, a U.S. citizen, and a Delaware resident. To register in person, all you need to bring is proof of identification and proof of residency. Kenneth Bo McDowell, director of the Sussex County Department of Elections, shares what happens if you miss the deadline to register to vote in the primary.
It's very important to be registered if you want to vote in the primary by this Saturday. However, we still encourage you to register because even if you miss that deadline, you'll still be eligible if you register before the general. There's another cutoff date that comes the following month. So please continue to register even if you do for some reason miss that date.
Georgetown resident Billy Rogacki is already registered and even has his early voting ballots for the primary election.
We registered because voting's important generally, and now so more than ever with democracy on the line.
If you haven't registered yet and wish to do it in person, the Sussex County office here in Georgetown will be open Saturday from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. To learn other ways to register in time for the state primary, visit our website, coasttvnews.com. In Georgetown, Ana Sofia Roman, Coast TV News.
Here are some dates to keep in mind this election season. The state primary election is September 10th. Polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Early voting is also available from August 28th to September 7th. And from the 28th to the 3rd, polls are open 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. From September 4th to September 8th, polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Now from our local and state elections to the national election, Vice President Harris will lay out plans for her first 100 days in office today, all focused on cutting costs for Americans. It's the first time she discussed her policies, and meanwhile, her opponent, former President Trump, says her plans will hurt the economy and not help it. NBC's Bree Jackson shows the details from Washington.
Vice President Kamala Harris detailing her economic plan, if elected president, saying driving down cost is a top priority.
I will take on the high costs that matter most to most Americans.
Speaking to supporters in battleground state North Carolina, Harris proposing tax cuts for middle-class Americans, expanding the child tax credit to provide $6,000 to families with newborns, and a federal ban on corporate price gouging in the food and grocery industry.
My plan will include new penalties for opportunistic companies that exploit crises and break the rules.
Political experts say delivering on campaign promises is a challenge for any candidate.
This is something that speaks to the concerns of everyday Americans who are worried about putting food on their table and what it cost 3 years ago. But still, that's very, very different than getting a law. And even the law there would have loopholes.
Former President Trump is convinced his political opponents' policies would hurt the economy.
A radical left person wants to put price controls all over the place, which will end up driving up your prices, not down your prices.
Trump says his goal is to lower energy prices by reducing regulations and allowing drilling on new land.
I always say we have more liquid gold under our feet, more than any other nation.
Polls show a majority of voters trust Trump over Harris when it comes to the economy. The vice president is seeking to close that gap as she lays out her economic vision on the campaign trail and at the Democratic National Convention next week. In Washington, Bree Jackson, News.
Both campaigns are heading to Pennsylvania this weekend, hoping to win over voters in that critical battleground state. Now, voters in battleground states like Pennsylvania will find it easier to cast ballots this year than in previous presidential elections. But in other pivotal states, voters will face new obstacles. Many of the changes to state election rules are focused on the protocols for mail ballots. Florida and North Carolina are among the closely watched states that have made voting harder since 2020. And in some of the most contested states in the 2020 election, such as Arizona, the picture is mixed towards more restrictions at the polls. Crosswalks coming to the coast. More on the Bethany Beach town plan still to come on Coast TV News at 11.
And as we go into the weekend, let's take a look at your Bay forecast. We're looking for 85 on Saturday, scattered showers and thunderstorms for Sunday and possibly Monday with temperatures in the mid-80s. Looking for a chance of rain in Crisfield Sunday and Monday as well. Your full forecast with details on why Ernesto has been a thorn in our side coming up in 60 seconds.
At the Delmarva Design Center, appliances, cabinetry, countertops, tile, and flooring come together in one showroom. We have specialists in each division, such as myself in appliances, to ensure that you not only get the best product for your needs, but that your selection fits seamlessly with every element of your remodel.
It's always fun bringing clients into Delmarva Design Center. No matter how much they want to spend, there's always an option for people to pick something that they like.
Delmarva Design Center. Great design starts with great inspiration. Selbyville, Delaware.
It's Toyota's National Sales Event. Swipe into end of summer fun with an exciting new Toyota. Whether you're paddleboarding in a RAV4, mountain biking in a Tacoma, or tubing with your best friends in a Camry, you'll find plenty to post about all summer long.
Right now, get a new Tacoma SR5 with low 4.99 APR financing, or lease one for just $279 a month for 36 months.
Come in today. Ooh, like
Toyota, let's go places.
We do have a chance of rain in the forecast for the weekend, but we're not talking about ruining your whole weekend, just more like the tail end of it as you're getting ready to go back to work anyway. So I think it's going to be a fair shake. Today and Saturday's looking pretty good. Our dry tech camera in Ocean City, 74 degrees, and we'll drop down to 71 with mostly clear skies by 1 o'clock, but we'll see a few more clouds roll in here by the time we get to the 3 o'clock hour. Now, our Tendo's casual furniture camera in Ocean City is at 74 degrees, and we'll drop down to 71 by 1 o'clock, partly to mostly clear skies. Then we'll thicken the cloud cover between 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning for them as well. We have temperatures well into the 70s, 74 in Lewis and Millsboro, 72 in Milton, 71 in Georgetown, and in Redden. Now, the dew point temperature, which is a measurement of the moisture content in the atmosphere, they're creeping up ever so slightly because this is where that tropical moisture field is going to come from because we have that moisture content in the atmosphere that's going on the high side. And now we have concerns for rip currents. That's along the entire coast for Sussex County, watching out for those rip currents to pull you out deeper into the water if you're not mindful of what you're doing. That's for Saturday, Sunday, during the daytime hours and for the night as well. In addition to that, we do have some gusty winds that we're expecting. We have small craft advisory active here throughout the entire mid-Atlantic coast. Why? Because we still have some residual effects from what's happening out deep in the Atlantic from Ernesto. But we still have high pressure and control of our weather, so we're staying mainly clear for right now with a little bit of rain trying to squeeze in between these two to cause us a little problem. But here's the headlines. Dangerous rip currents are building. As I mentioned before, watch out for 5 to 8 foot waves and beach erosion, believe it or not. The weekend's not a total washout. Saturday's good. Sunday, no promises there. Tropical light for the next few days because the moisture content is going up. The winds are picking up as well. So we start off with Saturday. Sunrise, yoga cast. We're looking at temperatures in the 70s, but winds are pushed primarily out of the south. How muggy is it going to be? We're going back to the muggies, that dear old friend of ours. Back up, particularly Sunday going to Monday. Won't drop off until we get to, let's say, mid portions of next week. You see, here's how this is going to play out. 70s, winds out of the southeast Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon, a few scattered showers briefly pushing through. Not such a big deal. Sunday's the big deal, particularly around 7:30. Look at this squall line. Very defined with our forecasting models, and we see convergence is happening here too. So those are two big hints that's looking like a pretty sure bet. Now, by Monday morning, it's all out of the way, so it's not something that's going to linger for a long period of time. As far as our storm risk is concerned, we're going to stay at a marginal risk for storms. And as you go right along the entire coast, you'll notice we hold off on the rain for the most southern portions till Monday. And same was true for us in Fenwick Island. But as we get towards, let's say, Lewis and Rehoboth, we start getting a little more. And Ernesto will continue to curve away from the coast with the waves staying at about 4 to 8 feet in our neck of the woods and finally clearing out of the way. So 67 for tonight, 85 for tomorrow, but then a better chance of rain for Sunday. Finally, here's a look at your Paul Davis Restoration Home Remodeling Extended Forecast.
Thank you, Paul. And Thomas Berry lost his life while helping others. Coast TV News spoke with Ellendale Fire Company. They said Thomas died doing what he loved. Thomas Berry was a fourth-generation firefighter and member of the Ellendale Fire Company for 8 years. His fellow firefighters tell me that Thomas rode along with other fire companies and lended a hand wherever it was needed.
How are you doing? How is the fire company doing?
We're doing okay. We've gotten some grief counseling coming up from some of our younger members. We've got quite a few junior members, and when they joined the company, Thomas always kind of took them under his wing.
There will be a scheduled visitation on August 22nd from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. next Thursday with services to follow. 2 new pedestrian crosswalks are coming on the coast. The Bethany Beach Town Council decided a few hours ago to build 2 pedestrian crossovers at the intersection of Garfield Parkway and Route 1. Here's video of that intersection. The $61,000 plan will engineer the design of 2 crossovers for pedestrians. Bethany Beach business owner Elise Lindsay thinks this is a great addition to the town.
I think it sounds like a fabulous idea. Anything that we can do to protect the visitors and residents to travel very safely. The town has done some great things with bicycle safety, on their own lanes for bicycles. Pedestrians deserve the same, right? To make sure they can get over Route 1 in a very safe manner.
Now, there's no word yet on when the town will actually build the crossovers. A lot of high school graduates are moving out, going on to college, or just getting a new job. And parents may be feeling all sorts of different emotions. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has more on how to recognize signs of so-called empty nest syndrome and ways to get through it.
When the chicks take flight, sometimes the nest can feel a little empty.
You can feel excitement and loss at the exact same time. And it's okay to celebrate your child leaving home while at the same time feeling sadness and loss.
Psychologist Susan Alberts with Cleveland Clinic says that while empty nest syndrome isn't a clinical diagnosis, the feelings are real. Signs can include a persistent sense of sadness, loss, emptiness, lack of purpose, and a shift in identity.
Acknowledge your feelings. Accept this period of grief. Allow yourself to feel whatever you are feeling during this transition period.
Albert says it's time to do something you may not have been able to do for a long time. Focus on you. Get back to an old hobby or find a new one. Take on new adventures, maybe travel. Stay connected to friends and family and make time to reconnect with your partner.
We can look at this as an opportunity to do new activities together, to rekindle that fun and excitement in your relationship.
And while parents may also feel worried for your child who's away from home, Albert says take a step back.
Allow them to make their own decisions, to grow, and have the confidence that you have taught them the skills to be out on their own and to become an adult.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Disney deals, new pricing changes at the theme parks still to come. And TikTok is on the clock. More of the unknown future of the social media platform. All this next on CoastTV News at 11.
Here at North Bay Marina, we know that boaters have the most fun.
The Make It Ford Summer Sales event continues at Preston Ford. Experience incredible deals on a massive selection of over 900 new Ford vehicles. You can save over $11,000 off MSRP on select 2023 Ford F-150s, or get over $9,000 off MSRP on a 2023 Bronco Badlands. Shop with us online at PrestonFord.com and we'll deliver it to your driveway today. Visit Preston online or in person during the Make It Ford Summer Sales event at Preston Ford. Remember, cars cost less in Preston.
Feeling the summer sizzle? Is it turning your home into a sauna? At FH Fur, we know you can't wait when your AC is down for the count. That's why we're offering same-day service, guaranteed. If we don't make it to you the very same day, you will pay a diagnostic or dispatch fee, plain and simple. So whether your AC is blowing hot air, your thermostat is on the fritz, or your entire system needs replacing, an FH Fur expert technician will bring your comfort back today.
877-CALL-FUR, FHFur.com.
Right now, during the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Gateway Subaru, we're offering incredible savings.
Save up to $3,000 on a new 2024 Subaru Outback. Plus, take advantage of great financing rates as low as 0% for 48 months. Feel the thrill and save up to $2,400 off a new 2024 Subaru Crosstrek with financing rates as low as 2.9% for 48 months. And stop by to discover the all-new 2025 Subaru Forester. Gateway Subaru, just minutes from the beaches in the heart of Delmarva. Higher standards.
Local businesses are the lifeline of every community. And behind every local business is a person with a dream, putting their heart and soul into something they believe in. And when you support a local business, you're contributing to the local economy and making our community thrive. Spicer Brothers has been helping Delmarva families with their home improvement projects for over 20 years. So trust Spicer Brothers with your home, where every dollar stays right here on Delmarva, supporting real local people and their families.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
TikTok is fighting back again. As its future still remains uncertain in the United States, the social media platform is denying storing sensitive American user data in China. That's something the U.S. Justice Department has accused the Chinese-based company of doing. In a new court filing Thursday, TikTok urged the federal appeals court to block a lawsuit that could result in a nationwide ban of the app. The company in its filing said that the U.S. government has no evidence that China has ever accessed American user data. And many Disney super fans and bloggers are complaining about the high cost of vacationing at the parks. In response, Disney is offering a wider range of pricing and options. According to Walt Disney Parks and Resorts, the theme park giant will provide as much access and flexibility as possible. Disney has touted lower-priced ticket options and a value season deal at its hotels to allow families to visit. Coming up in sports, a Henlopen baseball star announces his future athletic and academic plans. Find out where the pitcher will be competing. And charges in a celebrity death. The newest developments in the Matthew Perry case still to come.
Your golf forecast, 85 for the high, partly sunny with a chance of an isolated storm.
We're Coast Country, and we're Delmarva proud.
The excellence of driving a Buick is matched by the excellence of the dealership experience when you own a Buick. Buick, exceptional by design.
Sign and Drive is here. Get this ultra-low mileage lease on this 2024 Encore GX Preferred for around $343 per month with zero due at signing.
Save big on living rooms, dining rooms, bedrooms, mattresses, outdoor, and more. The savings start early during the pre-Labor Day sale at Johnny Janosic. Get Delaware's guaranteed lowest prices, plus 0% APR for 60 months, or take an extra 20% off. Get this beautiful 4-piece sectional, now only $1899.95. Or a power triple reclining sofa, only $1799.95. The savings start early. Shop the pre-Labor Day sale, only at Johnny Janosic.
Make It Ford Summer Sales Event is on. So make it your best summer ever with Ford. Get your ideal combination of power and capability. And experience hands-free highway driving technology with Ford Blue Cruise, available on select vehicles. It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event, so make it yours. Make it now. Make it 0% APR financing, make it a zero down payment, and make it no payments for 90 days on select Ford SUVs.
When Roe v. Wade fell, we all got mad. Matt Meyer got to work, securing county funds for the First State Abortion Fund, so women can get reproductive care here in Delaware. Matt went to work protecting kids from gun violence, too, reducing shootings almost 50%. As Matt's wife, I'm incredibly proud. As an emergency room doctor, I see the difference he's making. Matt will be a great governor because he doesn't just talk, he's walking the walk.
New at 11, on the campaign trail, the battle between the vice presidential hopefuls is heating up. Democratic nominee Governor Tim Walz and Republican nominee Senator J.D. Vance are taking aim at each other's personal finances. CNN's Tom Foreman has the latest.
Both are Midwest-born from working-class families, love Diet Mountain Dew, and joined the military.
For 24 years, I proudly wore the uniform of this nation.
I enlisted in the United States Marines.
But along the way, the fortunes of Democrat Tim Walz and Republican J.D. Vance diverged wildly.
Growing up, I spent the summers working on the family farm. My mom and dad taught us, show generosity towards your neighbors and work for a common good.
Educated at Chadron State College in Nebraska and Minnesota State, Walz became a high school teacher and coach, taking up politics in his 40s as a congressman and then two-term governor of Minnesota. Walz owns no stocks or bonds, sold his home after moving into the governor's mansion in 2019. Records show his savings are largely in retirement accounts and life insurance. He has a small education fund, and as the New York Times noted, he and his wife jointly reported $299,000 in income in 2023, more than they had declared in years. Vance, on the other hand,
I know what it's like to choose between paying off the credit card debt or buying groceries. I know what it's like to watch families fall apart under financial stress.
He went to Ohio State, then Yale Law, graduating to work as a litigator, write a best-selling memoir, which became a movie, and to settle into venture capitalism before winning a U.S. Senate seat 2 years ago. Vance owns his home, has stakes in 2 businesses, up to $500,000 worth of Bitcoin, rental income, checking accounts worth over $1 million, sizable education savings for his children. Altogether, he and his wife have between $4 and $11 million in assets, with at most $1.5 million in liabilities. Walz says it all adds up to an opponent far removed from his humble beginnings.
Come on! That's not what middle America is.
While Vance finds a different bottom line.
I will be a vice president who never forgets where he came from.
Vance and Walz will face each other for a debate on October 1st. And 5 people have been charged in connection with the death of actor Matthew Perry. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office, the defendants include 2 doctors, Perry's personal assistant, and a person authorities call, quote, the ketamine queen. They are all accused of distributing ketamine to the Friends actor during the final weeks of his life. Now, authorities said investigators uncovered an underground network of drug sellers and suppliers they allege are responsible for distributing the ketamine. The U.S. attorney said the defendants took advantage of Perry's addiction issues. If you're in the market to rent an apartment, here's some good news. You're going to want to listen to this. The rental market is slowing down, which means many tenants are now being given incentives to sign a lease. Some landlords are offering perks like free parking or even a week's free rent. That's especially true in major metro areas like Atlanta and Charlotte. A third of rental listings on Zillow now offer an incentive to rent. And the Olympic events may be over, but the controversy surrounding the event is not. U.S. gymnast Jordan Chiles spoke out for the first time following his decision to take away her bronze medal. Chiles posted a statement on Thursday saying, quote, I have no words. This decision feels unjust and comes as a significant blow, not just to me, but to everyone who has championed my journey. The bronze medal has now been awarded to Romanian gymnast, and Chiles is the only gymnast in history to be stripped of an Olympic medal for an administrative error.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
The Philadelphia Phillies aiming to win their 3rd straight game and 2nd in 2 nights against the Washington Nationals.
And Philly took down the Nats at Citizens Bank Park tonight, the final score of 3-2. Trey Turner went 4 for 5 at the plate to help lift the Phils to the victory. These squads face off again tomorrow night in Game 3 of the series at 6:05 p.m. To the scoreboard, over in the minor leagues, the Wilmington Blue Rocks dropped their 2nd straight game to the Brooklyn Cyclones by a final score of 3-2. They'll be back in action tomorrow night at 6:05 p.m. In our top stories tonight, Delmarva Aces and Sussex Central pitcher Peter Onoshak has committed to play baseball at Salisbury University starting in 2025. He had a tremendous summer with the Aces where he struck out 33 batters in 32 innings, along with having a .65 ERA in 11 appearances on the mound. And just a year after the Salisbury Stakes had their inaugural season in the MASL3 at Crown Sports Center in Fruitland, Maryland, live on DSN, the soccer team will be playing in the MASL2 this year. You can still find their games live on DSN for the indoor season. Congratulations to the Salisbury Stakes.
That'll do it for sports. Have a great night.
The UV Index Weather Report is sponsored by Ocean City Tourism. Somewhere to smile about.
The bold, creamy smoothness of Hardee's new cold brew coffee with the made-from-scratch goodness of Hardee's famous breakfast. A delicious new way to power your morning. Hardee's, goodness in the making.
The excellence of driving a Buick is matched by the excellence of the dealership experience when you own a Buick. Buick, exceptional by design.
Sign and Drive is here. Get this ultra-low mileage lease on this 2024 Encore GX Preferred for around $343 per month with zero due at signing.
When choosing windows and doors for your home, at Pella, it's your choice. We manufacture maintenance-free vinyl, fiberglass, and wood-clad windows and patio doors, all with lifetime warranties. High performance, energy efficient, and loaded with options to help make your house your home. Industry first features and benefits make living easier and increase your home's value. Visit our Experience Center or call us today to schedule your free in-home consultation where we bring the showroom to you.
We're looking for great trades, and if you have a good low mileage, nice car that a lot of people like, we're going to step up to it and give you all the money for it, especially because we do business with a lot of local people. So we know the car, they do service with us. People like to buy a car like that. And even if you don't have such a nice new car that has a lot of miles on it, we'll step up and give you the money for that too. We're very fair. So if you're thinking about trading or just selling your car, give IG Burton a chance. I think you'll be very happy with the numbers that you see.
IG Burton, since 1908. You can count on us.
Hi, I'm Joel Wharton, Sussex County farmer. Don't wait until after harvest to plant your cover crops. Consider broadcasting or interseeding cover crops into your standing cash crop. Early establishment provides more growth potential and more soil armor over winter. It also saves time because after harvest, the cover crop is already growing and protecting the soil, cycling nutrients, and preventing erosion. To learn more about the benefits and ways to establish cover crops early, contact the Sussex Conservation District because every acre counts.
The greatest meal deal for your buck? Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Loaded with your choice of 2 full-size favorites, plus fries and a drink. All for just $6.99. Hardee's, goodness in the making.
There's a chance of rain over the weekend, just being, truth in advertisement, but I don't think it's going to ruin the whole weekend. Even the chance of rain on Saturday looks pretty brief. Now, for tonight, not the case. We're looking clear with a few additional clouds, but we could see a couple of spot showers just briefly on Saturday, better chance on Sunday. By the way, Jim Wright is our winner, courtesy of our Paul Davis Restoration Home Remodeling. And then as you take a look at our 5-day UV index, we're going to stay a bit on the elevated side, particularly as we go into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week, more sunshine. Keep in mind that you can always call our weather line, sponsored by the law office of Baird, Mandatas, Brockstead, and Federico. And here's a look at your Paul Davis Restoration Home Remodeling exclusive 10-day forecast.
Thank you, Paul, and thanks for joining us here for Coast TV News at 11. For more local news and weather, download our Coast TV News app. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is up next. Have a great night, everybody.